Post 1. I, 38 female, feel like my family is turning the holidays into a shakedown, and I don't know if I'm the crazy one here. For context, I've been married to my husband, 40 male, for nearly 15 years. I work from home in a high-paying but constant job, the kind where you never really clock out. Because of that, I almost never travel. For the past 10 years, I've been the one to host every major holiday at my house. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, even the occasional birthday when it made sense. It hasn't been easy, hosting isn't free, but I don't complain. My house is big enough, and I like the stability of being home. But I'll be honest, whenever family visits, I lock up my valuables. Things have a way of going missing when everyone's here. A pair of earrings vanished once and showed up months later with a flimsy excuse. Video games, gift cards, small electronics, all gone. So yes, I host, but not without precautions. This year, though, my stepbrother Mark, 35 male, decided he's tired of coming to my house. He and his wife sat me down and pitched this idea of a big holiday abroad. London, Paris, maybe even a resort in Mexico. They made it sound like a grand adventure, a once-in-a-lifetime trip for the whole family. The catch? They want me to pay for it. Not just for me and my husband, for everyone. Flights, hotels, the whole thing. At first, I thought they were joking, but Mark leaned forward, serious, and said, "You're the one with the good job. You never travel. You owe it to the family to make this happen." His wife chimed in with, "It's not fair that you have so much and we've never even left the country." I said no, but they kept pushing. Mark's knee bounced under the table the whole time, and he kept fiddling with his phone, wiping his hands on his jeans. His wife smiled too wide and kept repeating phrases like, "This would mean everything to us." It didn't feel like normal family pressure. It felt urgent, like they needed this money right away. I reminded them I already host every year, which isn't free. Mark scoffed and said, "That's not the same. You like hosting anyway?" Then he added, "Come on, you can work from anywhere. Just bring your laptop." I left that conversation shaken. It wasn't just about a trip. It felt like they were cornering me. I couldn't stop noticing how jittery they both seemed, how they wouldn't take no for an answer. And now I'm stuck wondering if I'm really being selfish, or if this is just about them finding a new way to squeeze money out of me. So, am I the jerk for refusing to pay for my family's dream holiday abroad when I've already been hosting every holiday at my house for the last 10 years? First comment, NTA. Hosting for a decade is more than generous. They're just trying to exploit you. Second comment, NTA. Their pushiness and urgency are red flags. This isn't about family memories, it's about your money. Update 1. After I posted, I figured things would cool down. I thought if I said no firmly enough, Mark and his wife would eventually drop it. Instead, the pressure just doubled. The morning after that conversation, Mark called me. "No hello, just, we need to get these flights booked this week, prices are climbing." I told him again that I wasn't paying for everyone's travel. He snapped, "Fine, then at least cover ours. You know you can afford it." I repeated no, but he wouldn't stop. He kept talking faster and faster, like if he piled on enough words I'd give in. His voice had this edge to it, not angry exactly, more restless, like he couldn't stand to hear silence. Then later that day, his wife called me. She took the opposite approach, soft-voiced and syrupy, going on about how much this trip would mean for their kids, how it would be life-changing. She even started crying, saying she just wanted her children to see the world before they're too old. It might have tugged at my heartstrings if she hadn't slipped in a line about all the shopping opportunities in Paris. By the end of the week, the group text started. My stepdad, "Don't be selfish, you can't take it with you." My mom, "It would mean the world to the kids, don't you want them to have memories?" A cousin I barely talk to, "You've got more than you need, why not spread it around?" It was like everyone got a script. Eventually, I caved a little. Mark had been going on about a rental house they found, so I agreed to cover that one part. I wired him the money and asked for the booking confirmation once it was done. He texted back with a bunch of emojis and, "Thanks, sis." But a week went by, then another. No details. When I pressed, he dodged. "Prices changed. Waiting for the right time. Don't stress about it." Finally, I flat out asked for proof of the booking, and he admitted it hadn't been done. The money was already gone. When I asked what happened, he got cagey and defensive. His wife chimed in via text, accusing me of not trusting family and saying I was being controlling. Meanwhile, Mark just kept repeating, "It's handled, don't worry." Except nothing is handled, and now I'm out a chunk of money with nothing to show for it. And maybe I'm overthinking this, but when I picture that night at the table, Mark's knee bouncing, his hands shaking a little, his wife talking with that manic energy, it all feels different now. Like the whole holiday abroad thing was just the story. The real goal was getting money out of me as quickly as possible. First comment, NTA. They took your money, didn't book anything, and now they're dodging. That's not family, that's a scam. Second comment, NTA. The urgency, the defensiveness, the guilt tripping, something's off here. You were right to be cautious. Update 2. I wish I could say things improved after I confronted Mark about the missing rental money, but if anything, the rest of the family has just decided I'm the problem now. It started with a group call. My mom, stepdad, Mark, and his wife all on speaker, practically tag-teaming me. Mom's voice was already teary. "Honey, you're making this so hard on everyone. All we wanted was one special holiday together, and you're ruining it." My stepdad jumped in with, "You've been hoarding your money for years while the rest of us struggle. Why can't you just be generous for once?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I reminded him I've hosted every holiday for the last decade at my expense, and that I even gave Mark money for the rental, which, mysteriously, never got booked. Mark cut me off, raising his voice. "Stop acting like it's a crime. Plans change. That money's being handled." Handled. That's all he kept saying. Like if he repeated it enough, I'd stop asking where it went. The worst part was my mom chiming in with, "Mark's right, you don't understand the stress he's under. Can't you just trust your brother for once?" Then his wife piped up, "We know you don't like to travel, but that doesn't mean the rest of us should be chained to your house forever." By the end of the call, I was shaking. It felt less like a family conversation and more like an intervention where I was the accused. They kept throwing around words like selfish, controlling, and stingy. Mark's wife actually said, "If you loved this family, you'd make it happen." Meanwhile, in the background, I could hear Mark's voice getting sharper, faster, like he couldn't stop talking. My stepdad tried to smooth it over by saying, "Look, all we need is the flights covered. That's it. You do that, and we'll handle the rest." Which is rich, considering they already handled the rental money right into thin air. Now, even extended family is piling on. An aunt posted on Facebook about selfish relatives who don't know how to share their blessings. A cousin DM'd me, "Why are you punishing everyone over money? Just pay, you won't even notice it's gone." And I keep thinking about the way Mark looked the last time we talked face to face. Sweaty, jittery, unable to sit still. His wife clutching her hands so tight her knuckles turned white. I don't know what's going on there, but this doesn't feel like just a holiday plan anymore. First comment, NTA. The whole family ganging up on you is classic scapegoating. They're not entitled to your money, period. Second comment, NTA. They already burned you once with the rental. Why would you trust them with more? Something else is definitely going on here. Update 3. After the group call, I swore I was done engaging. But then came my mom's birthday dinner last weekend, and I couldn't skip it without looking like I was avoiding everyone. My husband told me to keep my guard up, and I promised myself I'd stay calm and just make it through the evening. The second I walked into the restaurant, I knew that promise was out the window. Mark and his wife were already there, seated right across from my mom, both of them grinning way too wide. The air was tense, like they'd been waiting for me. Dinner itself was awkward. Every time I tried to ask Mom about her day or talk to my stepdad about the food, Mark would pipe up with little jabs. "Shame we won't be spending Christmas together this year." His wife would sigh loudly and say, "Some families just don't care about making memories." A few cousins were there too, and I caught them whispering to each other, shooting me sideways glances. Then it happened. Right after the waiter cleared the plates, Mark clinked his glass. Loudly. "Since we're all here," he said, "let's just put it out on the table. We want to do something special for the holidays, and all we need is for my sister to stop being selfish and pitch in. That's it." The whole restaurant seemed to go quiet. I felt my face go hot. I said as evenly as I could, "I already hosted for 10 years. I already gave you money for a rental you never booked. Don't you dare stand here and call me selfish. Mark shot back, "Oh, come on. You've got more than all of us combined and you can't even pay for flights? You'd rather sit in that big house of yours hoarding cash than let your nieces and nephews experience life?" His wife chimed in, "Exactly. You want control? That's what this is. You can't stand the idea of someone else leading for once." My mom looked stricken, but she didn't tell them to stop. She just muttered, "Can't we talk about this later?" My stepdad stared at his plate. Not one person stepped in to defend me, so I snapped. I stood up, voice shaking, and said, "You want honesty? Fine, I don't trust you. I gave you money and it disappeared. You don't want a family holiday? You want me to bankroll whatever you've got going on? And the way you sit there sweating and twitching, it's obvious this isn't about a vacation. It's about money you don't have and choices you won't admit to." You could have heard a pin drop. Mark's face went red. His wife sputtered something about me making accusations and stormed off to the bathroom. A cousin hissed, "Wow, way to ruin dinner." I left right after that. Mom called me later, crying, saying I humiliated her and made a scene. Mark texted, "You crossed a line. Don't expect us at your house ever again unless you fix this." Honestly, that might be the best news I've had all week. First comment, NTA. They ambushed you in public to try and shame you into paying. You were right to call them out. Second comment, NTA. Notice how nobody denied the missing rental money? They just tried to spin it as you being controlling. Total scam. Update 4. After the birthday dinner fiasco, I spent 2 days replaying everything in my head. Mark clinking his glass like it was some kind of courtroom, my mother staring at her plate, my cousin whispering, "Way to ruin dinner." It ate at me, but it also made something snap inside. I realized I'd been letting them control the narrative. I'd been defending myself, explaining, pleading, when really there was nothing to defend. I've done more than enough. I've hosted for 10 years, bought food, gifts, decorations, cleaned up after everyone, and now I was supposed to hand over thousands of dollars just so they could go shopping in Paris and call it family bonding. So I drafted a message, long but clear. I sent it to the whole group chat, parents, siblings, cousins, everyone. I wrote, I will not be paying for flights, hotels, or spending money. I will not be bankrolling holidays abroad. I will not send any more advance money for things that mysteriously never get booked. If you want to celebrate the holidays, you're welcome at my home, the same as every year. If that's not good enough, then you don't have to come. I hit send and waited. The first reply came from Mark, predictably. "You're unbelievable. Don't expect us to step foot in your house again. You'll regret this when you're old and alone." His wife followed up with a string of crying emojis and, "You destroyed this family tradition with your greed." Then came my mom. "Honey, don't be so harsh. Mark's under a lot of pressure. Can't you compromise?" My stepdad added, "You've let money change you." We just wanted one trip together. Not a single person acknowledged the fact that the rental money disappeared. Not one. The only supportive response came from my cousin Lisa, privately. "I don't blame you. I wouldn't trust them either. But don't tell anyone I said this. I don't want to get dragged in." So, there it is. My boundary is set. They can either come to my house like always, or they can do their holiday abroad on their own dime. But I won't fund another excuse for money to vanish. And I'll admit, part of me still can't shake the way Mark looked at that dinner. Red-faced, sweating, twitching in his seat like he was ready to crawl out of his skin. His wife squeezing her hands together until her knuckles turned white. Whatever this is, it isn't just about a vacation, but it's not my problem anymore. First comment, NTA. That message was perfect. Clear, firm, and final. They can't twist it around. Second comment, NTA. The "you'll regret it when you're old and alone" text says it all. They're just trying to scare you into paying. Update 5. It's been about 3 weeks since I sent that message, and let's just say the backlash hasn't slowed down. Mark and his wife have been running a full-on campaign. They've told anyone who will listen that I'm hoarding money, that I've abandoned family traditions, that I'm punishing the kids just because I don't want to spend a little on making memories. I put that in quotes because I've heard those exact phrases from 3 different relatives now. It's like they all got handed talking points. My mom has called me crying at least 5 times. Every time it's the same. "I can't believe you'd let money tear us apart. Or can't you just do this one thing and keep the peace? My stepdad piles on too, gruffly telling me, "You'll regret alienating everyone over cash. You think money will keep you warm when you're old?" Extended family is worse. An aunt commented under one of my Facebook posts, "Must be nice to sit in your big house while the rest of us struggle. Shame." A cousin DM'd me, "You're punishing everyone because of your control issues. Just give them the money, you won't even notice it's gone." I deleted the comment, ignored the DM, and then sat there staring at my phone, wondering how we got here. How did me hosting for a decade, me opening my home every year, turn into me being painted as some miser Scrooge hoarding gold coins in the attic? The silence from Mark and his wife is loud too. Not once have they addressed the rental money that disappeared. Every time I bring it up, they either dodge or accuse me of being obsessed with details. It's insane. The only bright spot has been Lisa again. She texted me quietly, "Don't let them get in your head. Everyone knows you've carried the holidays for years. They just won't say it out loud." It meant more than I expected, just knowing at least one person sees it. And here's the thing, as much as it hurts being painted as cold and selfish, I also feel lighter. For the first time in years, I'm not frantically menu planning, buying food for 30 people, scrubbing the house top to bottom. My husband and I keep looking at each other like, wait, do we actually get to relax this December? So yes, the fallout has been ugly. The guilt trips are constant. The family has decided I'm the problem, but for once I'm not breaking under it. I'm standing firm. And honestly, the quiet in my house is worth more than whatever holiday abroad they dreamed up. First comment, NTA. The smear campaign proves your point. It was never about memories. It was about squeezing you dry. Second comment, NTA. You sound lighter already. Enjoy your peace. They'll keep yelling until they realize the free ride is over. Final update, 1 year later. It's been a full year since the holiday abroad drama, and honestly, I don't think I've ever been happier. The fallout went about how you'd expect. Mark and his wife stuck to their story for a while, telling anyone who would listen that I ruined the holidays, that I was selfish and controlling, that I robbed the kids of memories. My mom and stepdad parroted the same lines. A few relatives unfriended me on social media, and I haven't been invited to a single family gathering since. At first, that hurt. Holidays rolled around and my phone was quiet. But then something shifted. Instead of cooking for 30 people, instead of locking my jewelry away and hiding my handbags, it was just me and my husband. We bought a tree, cooked a small dinner, and actually enjoyed it. No fights, no guilt trips, no missing items. Just peace. Meanwhile, Mark and his wife, let's just say things don't look so picture perfect anymore. Word got around that they had to sell their car. Then their vacation photos stopped appearing online. When I ran into an old neighbor of theirs, she mentioned they'd been having money troubles for months. She dropped her voice and said, "Something's going on there. I don't know what, but it's not good." I didn't ask for details, but it confirmed what I'd already suspected. That whole holiday scheme was never about family memories. It was about cash. And maybe that's the saddest part. If they'd been honest, if they'd said, "We're in trouble, can you help?" I might have. But they chose manipulation, lies, and pressure. These days, my husband and I have started putting the money we used to spend on family holidays toward ourselves. We've taken 2 short trips this year. Nothing extravagant, just a long weekend at the coast and a few days in the mountains. But they were ours. Our choice, our memories, without anyone demanding or taking. I don't know if things with my family will ever heal. But I do know this. I don't regret standing my ground. For the first time in years, I feel like the holidays actually belong to me. First comment, good for you. You gave a decade of generosity and they tried to exploit you. Now you get to enjoy your holidays in peace. Second comment, exactly. They showed their true colors. You didn't lose family, you lost leeches. And that's a win.